Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you to this virtual session of IT 101. In this session, we are gathering here to discuss any questions related to the chapters that we have discussed so far, that we have studied so far, or to give you answers to any questions that you may have regarding assignments, marks, grades, final exams. So if you have any question regarding the course, these sessions will try to answer those questions. If you have any questions, your chat permissions will be enabled, so you can ask the question in chat and I will try to answer it. Once your question has been answered, then I will close my talk and video and will wait for the next question. Thank you. Well, the concept of data mining and data warehousing can be considered as an extension of database management systems. Now, when you look at a database management system and its definition, the definition of database management system says that any database is a collection of correlated data items. For example, you may have a database of a university. Any data in that database is related to the university. You may have another database of a hospital. Any data that is stored in that database will be related to hospital. So whether you make a relational database or you make a hierarchical database, it has to be composed of data items which are correlated. Second thing about databases is that from database you can get only that data out as an answer to your query, which data is explicitly written in the database. So for example, you say select stare from student and then you give some parameters. It will only select a student if the student exists in the database. Otherwise, it will not select any student. Now, the problem with the data of today is that data is so immense, so large, and much of the data is not directly related with each other, that it cannot be put in a database form. For example, for the hospital, you may have data about the patients, you may have data about the doctors, you may have data about the medicine. All of this is correlated. But what about the data of X-rays? Now the data of X-ray is very different from the data that you are storing for doctor's name, because that is text, but it is X-ray image. Similarly, what about the data of ECGs? What about the data of other kind of tests that take place? Then hospital not only operates within the hospital, but hospital also interacts with many other entities. All of their data is not directly related with each other. Secondly, we are not only interested in extracting data out of database, we are also interested in finding patterns, hidden patterns that lie in the data. For example, there will not be any such kind of data which will tell you how many patients of a particular disease come to the hospital every day. But if you try to find that data using database, you will not be able to find that data. Now you want some other technique which can help you in finding those hidden patterns. That is where data mining comes into action. Now data mining's definition is application of techniques to find hidden patterns in your stored data. And data warehouse is a database where the data that is stored is not of similar nature, but is of different nature. So warehouse you can visualize as a very large inventory where many data items have been kept and have been stored. Data warehouse is a storage of heterogeneous sources of data. That is how we define data warehouse, and its particular purpose is in the application of data mining, where you try to find hidden patterns out of the data that you have stored. So that is the answer to your question. I hope the answer was sufficient for you. You can ask any question from the slide or the book. You can type it here. I will try to answer it. If you have any confusion about anything that is written in slide or book, you can write that sentence here and I will try to clear it. Well, the final exam will include all kind of questions. Final exam will include multiple choice questions. Final exam will also include true false questions. The final exam will also include short conceptual essay-like questions as there were in midterm. So it will comprise of all kind of questions. 50% of your weightage will be for MCQ and true false, 50% will be for essay based questions. Yes, the questions will cover the concepts that we have studied in the lecture slide, but the questions will come from the book. So I cannot create an MCQ from lecture slide. I cannot create a true false from lecture slide. The MCQs and true false will be created from the book. So now in the final exam, the paper specifically MCQ and true false will come from the books. You have to study the book to answer MCQs and true false properly. So I don't see any other student coming. I don't know, maybe they are busy, or maybe they did not have the schedule or something. Yeah. Yes, inshallah, tomorrow we'll have a face-to-face class. The Blackboard system seems to have created an error, so I will be back in the session after restarting the Blackboard.